Well, we did an unboxing of it. Now we are going to do a review. This is the Exceed RC Drift Star. There are two versions of the Exceed RC Drift vehicle. You have the Drift Star, which is what this is, and you have the Mad Speed Drift King. The differences are the Drift King comes with ball diffs. I prefer gear diffs because they lock up easier. They take a lot less maintenance. There are in the Drift King there are some carbon hop-up parts, some carbon fiber hop-up parts, but when it comes to that kind of stuff, I want to put my own hop-up parts in this instead of spending extra money and getting something that I'm inevitably going to change. That doesn't make any sense to me. Another thing is it comes with a 3-piece chassis, basically where the front and rear diff are bolted on. They actually bolt to the center section so you can unbolt them. The spur gear is a lot easier to change, and in order to change the spur gear, you have to take off this, and you have to take off this little battery holder mount, and then you have to take off the shock tower brace, which is only 4 bolts. Then you have to take off the entire rear diff, so it's all together 8. Oh yeah, you also have to take off this metal, this aluminum, basically support bar that goes all the way across to change out the spur gear. It's easy to change the pinion gear. This actually has this is set up for drifting, of course. 29 tooth pinion gear, 64 tooth spur gear, but it still does 65 mile an hour. This is the brushless edition. It has the 3300 kV. The fan, which I'm surprised it comes with this. The ESC actually comes with a fan. I immediately changed out my connectors to I tried it out first with the stock battery. The stock battery is a Exceed RC, nothing special, 3000 milliamp hour, 8.4 volt, 7 cell, nickel metal hydride, very heavy. I changed it out to a Turnigy 2200. This ESC is rated at 45 amp, so I got a 45C, 45 amp discharge, I believe. I can't remember exactly. But I do know that this gives me about 20 minutes. I do have a 5000 milliamp hour, but it's heavier, bigger. In order to change out from nickel metal hydride to lipo, a big one, there's these little rounded stubs that are screwed in to hold this into place to conform to the roundness of the sides. So you have to remove those. That's 4 screws, 1 screw for each one. It is shaft drive. But to remove the spur gear, I believe it's 13 screws and a nut, and then the rear drive shaft will come off. And then it does have a servo saver, and then you can, after you take out the 9, I'm sorry, I stopped and just did that real quick. After you take out 13 screws, the rear diff will come out. Oh shoot, I forgot the 4 on the bottom. You have the 4 that actually hold the diff in place. And that's how you get to the spur gear on this. It's more difficult than the Mad Speed version, the Drift King. They also say that with the ball diffs, the diffs are lower in the chassis. I haven't really seen the difference. I've seen both. There really isn't a difference, and with gear diffs, there's a lot less maintenance. Like I said, I think I said that. The stock servo is a 6 kilogram servo, piece of junk. I'm sorry to say that, Exceed, but you're gonna get what you pay for. $200. You get what you get. So I immediately exchanged it to a Traxxas 2055 servo that I had laying around. So it's no longer waterproof, but I'm not going to be running this through the water. It's a drift car. You don't run drift cars through the water. The shocks they are aluminum. They come aluminum. They are threaded and they are knurled, so you can adjust them. That was a big wow factor when I got mine. The one thing I like but I don't like, it's good for fast maintenance, but I don't know how fast it's going to wear, is the turnbuckles. Instead of having the ball inside that you put a screw through, they actually have ball end screws that the turnbuckles snap onto. This is the first vehicle I've had with that, so we will see in time how that works. If it doesn't work well, I will go over to the regular turnbuckles that I've always used, which has the ball inside that you put the screw through, and it doesn't have any binding issues. I don't know why. It's a 2.4 gigahertz 4-channel receiver. I don't understand why it has 4 channels. Most vehicles like this, the receiver you get has dual connections for each channel. So for like channel 1, you have 2 connections. So like if you get on the throttle, if you have a smoke machine, you'll have smoke come out. Or if you get on the brake, if you have LEDs, your red LEDs on the back will light up. Several different things, but this thing has 4 channels. And the receiver they give with you, nothing special. Runs on 4 AA batteries, which I actually have. Again, this is all I use for when it comes to AA's. 1500. These are 1500 milliamp nickel metal hydride AA's. 4 of them. 2.4 gigahertz takes 4 of them. Anything megahertz takes 8. You have your throttle trim, your steering trim, and then right back here, on the back, it does have a charge port, but it is a trickle charge. I don't like that. 250 milliamp hours. So I don't like that. But then you have this little door, and you have your standard throttle, servo. Well, with the throttle, it will be normal and reverse to reverse it, and steering, normal and reverse. Throttle dual rate, which I have set to 10 because, this is my 7th or 8th RC vehicle, so I know how to control them. A lot of people I see practicing with this can't even keep a good drift going. This car actually comes with a plastic compound tire, but on the very outside rim is rubber, so it does have a little bit of traction, but when you need nothing but drift, just gas the throttle a little bit and it will go sideways very easily. I love that. The ESC is programmable. You have this little set button. It's a little difficult to go through because to get to each option you actually have to shut it off, then hold down the button again, turn it back on, wait for the green light to flash once, twice, or 3 times, and then let go, and then you can choose one of the 8 options. The options are the first option, I can't remember what the first option is. But I know the second option is basically a drag brake. The third option is at what point the ESC will shut down when it sees so many volts. I have mine set to 3. It goes from 2.6 to 3.4, 3.6, no, 3.4. I don't know if I said this, but it is shaft drive. That's one thing that was a must for me, because I'm not going to deal with belts. I'm a automotive technician, and belts go out very quickly, and that's a pain in the ass to deal with. Another wow factor for me was the pinion and spur gear are actually, I believe, steel. Not even a soft aluminum. They are steel. So you can actually hear it. That clicking. That is metal on metal instead of metal on plastic. Because usually the pinion gear will be metal and the spur gear will be plastic. Not in this case. You're running all steel. What else is there? I believe that's about it. Let me see if everything's waterproof. Not mine anymore, because I did change out the steering. The reason I did that is not only is it faster, but I read a lot of people having problems with it staying straight, or just not adequate steering. So I did change that. But everything else, like the ball end screws, I'm gonna have to get used to that, because now to remove stuff I have to actually get I have to pop this out and then get a socket to do it, or a very small wrench. There's an ass load of wires for everything. The 3 connectors for the ESC are actually bullet connectors, so if you do need to change your motor, you can easily just, it's a little tough because of the spacing. This is the 1/10 scale, but they are bullet connectors, so if for some reason you need to change your motor, if you're going to stick with stock, that's very easy to do. Other than that, that's basically it. Everything's plastic, a very hard yet flexible plastic, which is a very good thing. Another thing between the Drift King and the Drift Star that people said is the hubs are different, so they don't rub when you go to full lock. Well, I have gone to full rub, and mine do not rub at all. I hear a little rub right there, but I don't know what that is or where that is. I'll find out where that is. Oh, okay, that's just on the back side. Oh, okay, that's an easy fix. But other than that, it's a very fun car. No problems thus far. I don't like the fact that instead of using screws, it actually uses pins to hold everything in place, like the rear. To attach the hub to the A-arm, it uses a pin instead of a screw. I don't like that. But other than that, that's it for this review. This is just basically an unboxing review, and you can see on the tires, they are scraped up. I have ran it. It's very fun. Just make sure all your fasteners are always in place. And I see one of my E-clips has actually come a little loose, so I'm going to have to fix that very quickly so I don't lose it. But other than that, oh yeah, last thing. It actually uses, instead of just plastic to hold the A-arms together, it actually has an aluminum connector. I don't know if you can see that little purple brace, but it has a purple anodized aluminum brace, both front and rear. It's right in there. And up front, it's right below the bumper. You can't see it with the camera probably. It's right there. But it does use that. And the body that came with this one is a Nissan 350Z. It actually looks like the Nismo edition body that you can get with the actual 350Z. There's a Nismo edition, but this is the 350ZR body. I really like it. It has taken a beating, and it has not cracked at all. No warping. There is a little bit of rubbing where the tires have rubbed against the shell, but I mean, that's no big deal. But the big things that I will say you want to do immediately, especially with the brushless version, change out your servo, go to lipo, change from the banana clips to no loss XT60s or whatever, or Deans, whatever you like. I actually also have some Traxxas rubber compound wheels, so I can use this also as a touring car. It runs about 25 miles per hour. The stock wheels are 65 millimeters by 26 millimeters wide. These are 70 millimeters by 25 millimeters, so these are a little taller but a little narrower, but they're rubber compound, so don't need to worry about it as much. And they have lasted. I have ran on them, and that's how I got my speed, and that's how I saw it actually does 26 miles per hour, but you also have to realize the gearing is set up for drifting, not touring. But if you get, I'm actually going with I believe it's either 6,000 or 7,000 kV. I can't remember exactly, but it's the 1/10 scale Sidewinder, Castle Creation Sidewinder SV3 version 3. I'm going to be putting that in, and that'll make it so for every volt the 4-pole motor will spin at 8,000 RPM. So putting 7.4 volts in, do the math, that's between 49 and 50,000 RPM. I have a Castle Sidewinder, and my short course truck, absolutely love it. Gobs of torque, extreme high speed, actually outruns my smallest nitro, which is my Traxxas Nitro Sport. But very fun little car. I highly recommend it if you're just getting into drifting. HPI, yes, very nice stuff if you can get a shaft drive. If not, you're going to have to deal with belts. Belts are going to break. Shaft drive is going to last. So that's it for this car. Any questions, like usual, comments down below. Let's get this back on here. And make sure that I didn't forget anything. No, that's pretty much it. It comes with a lot of stickers that you can put on it and customize it to how you like it. Mine's number 11, obviously. But that's it. So again, till next time. Peace.